He's an individual many of you guys have gotten to know. You may have even unfollowed him. I don't know. But we're excited to welcome back to our broadcast today Earl Hall. And for those tuning in on Amazon, welcome. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, make sure you guys hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books by our next guest, the ones that he hasn't taken off of Amazon. Earl Hall is back with us. We're going to talk to him about his incredible journey in business. He has some of his there too. In business and in life, he also is the host of the Earl Hall Show, as well as an instructor too. Earl, my friend, so glad to have you back on with us, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mr. Webb, and we'll see how this goes.
Well, I'm sure it's going to go great, because you have a very prepared host. So it's going to be great. We can't count on the other side, but on this
Well,
side, it's going to be fantastic.
all right. Ah, ah.
And R.W. Hawkins, hello to you over there on Instagram. So, Earl, a lot for us to talk about. So I want to begin, though, with the interesting thing I thought about when I was prepping for our segment. You've gotten to be known for a lot of different things. People know you for creating video promos. You're an author. You are a media personality. You also are a coach, voiceover artist. How does it feel to be able to find different areas that you're able to enjoy, but also to use your skills in different areas as well?
Well, being able to use my skills in different areas is very enjoyable because I think, like most people, we all have different things we're interested in and things that we're good at. Combining all of those things is really the challenge in regards to what am I going to talk about when, how am I going to present, in particularly on social media. What are the things that people are actually interested in, and what are people actually asking me for? So the journey has been a nice one. It's been a big learning experience for me,
Yeah.
and I am looking forward to the future to continue on with growth.
Yeah. Well, I should let our audience know for those who don't know. So I discovered Earl because of his heavy presence on social media, namely YouTube at the time. Earl, have you always looked at YouTube kind of as your place? I know I call it your hub, but again, that's how I discovered you myself was on YouTube. Have you always known that that format, that place was a place where you could make your mark?
Well, it's yes, because you have to think back, going back to like 2007, when like these platforms started coming out, like a YouTube and like a Facebook. There was no Instagram back then, or other things, but that was the platform that was available for me to disseminate the information that I wanted to disseminate.
Mhm.
It was the place where there was no other place to go but on YouTube at that time to do what I felt like I wanted to do. And I've just subsequently grown from there. And that's why YouTube has, really become my hub even up until now.
Yeah. Now it goes to a conversation you and I were having recently, and the reason why I wanted to bring that up, of course, everything's a thing, and that is the fact that you've been able to showcase different aspects of your interest and your brand on YouTube. You and I were talking about just today about how some people feel like they have to choose. People will tell them, more educated people than myself will tell them, you have to focus on just one thing. What has given you the courage to be able to show different facets of your work, not only on YouTube, but across your social media?
Well, I think courage is the right word. I mean, for so long, I'd been indoctrinated in a certain way of doing things online
Mhm.
that weren't necessarily true or even appropriate. And I think so many of us look online for information to see how we can, potentially grow, do better, and maybe even serve our audiences. But what I've been discovering, and I've had to have that courage to just look beyond that, which we're not talking about something that's been a long time. This is really
Mhm.
recent as a conversation we've had, to know that I can be a bit more eclectic and a lot more broad in what it is that I'm talking about and still serve the audience that is coming to me asking for things. And I'm seeing more of that now. People coming asking, can you do this? Do you do this? Do you provide this service? Which means that my reach will just continue to grow.
Right. And you do have such a variety of services. I did mention some of them, but then of course you're doing things like AI imaging. You also are helping people with instructional videos too. You've been doing that recently. You just did one on Stand Store, and I know another platform that you're using. You have said to me in the past that you really are a teacher at heart. Do you still feel like that at your core is who you are, Earl, but also how you want to best be known.
That is my core. But what I have not done, especially maybe just say over the past 5 years, is really double down on what I really enjoy doing.
Mhm.
Life, business, all that other stuff. Business be business and life be life, and And so I've looked at and focused on certain things that people are asking me for,
Right.
but what I'm really looking to lean into, especially going into 2026, and maybe it might be kind of odd to even talk in those terms, especially since people think it's a far way off, but it's really not.
Hmm.
But looking into what I want to really lean into in 2026 is that teacher side of me, to really show people how they can do some extraordinary things online to build their businesses from a very simple understanding of what actually needs to be done without all of the fluff that I think we
Hmm.
see so many times online.
Right. Well, you've recently released books that kind of identify your different interests. You have a new voiceover book that our audience can see in the carousel down on the Amazon side, but you also have a book you released for authors as well. How does it feel to be able to talk to these different audiences, Earl, when it comes to their particular needs and how you can be able to service them?
Well, see, it all comes back to this is what I meant by there's so many things that you can do, right? But you and I talk about what should you be doing.
Mhm.
But the books that I've been able to put out and write show the broadness of literally what I've been able to accomplish and expose people to how I did it and show that it can be done by them as well. It's no small feat to have 5 bestsellers on Amazon. It's no small feat, but there's a way that that happened. And so many people are, I'm not going to necessarily say getting wrong information,
Mhm.
but people are paying a lot of money to do things that are literally free to do,
Mhm.
like publishing on Amazon. It's why I wrote this book in
Mhm.
the first place, because I've heard so many stories about people paying an exorbitant amount of money for things, but not getting the result that they actually want to get. They think that paying that money is going to do the thing, but it's not.
Mhm.
It is really understanding some simple principles in all of this.
Right. I mentioned when I first discovered you, it was on YouTube. You've had a lot of different shows. Your newest show, though, is the Earl Hall Show. Hey, Dr. Velma, good to see you over
Hey,
there
Dr. C.
on the West Coast. Talk to us about the Earl Hall Show and the different iterations it's gone to and how it got to what it is today, Earl.
Well, I mean, the Earl Hall show started, oh gosh, 7, 8 years ago. A lot of times it was a talking head, and
Mhm.
then it crossed over into actually interviewing people from different genres, different business backgrounds, authors, even voiceover artists, life insurance agents, things like that, to really showcase what they're doing and how it is that they're doing it. In this iteration of the Earl Hall show, my skills as a media personality and particularly as an interviewer have just grown exponentially over the years, where I can really do a deep dive with someone on not just what they're doing and not just what they're coming on the show to promote, but who is that person really and how did that person get to where they are, because so many times we never know the backstory, and it is so interesting to get some of these people's backstory and to share that with the world.
Yeah, such a great point. We're going to let our audience know because a new season is going on right now. I want to talk to you about this book, Mind Your Business. I'm going to highlight it for those on the Amazon side and the carousel. One of the things that you talk about is a very interesting thing for Earl Hall to be talking about, and that is not to define your success by a dollar amount. You have talked about before. This is not breaking news for many people. You've literally said out of your mouth that you are money motivated. What has
Cha-ching.
it been like for you to redefine for yourself what your objectives are and the role that money plays in your success?
Being motivated has taught me several lessons. For one, and you and I recently talked about this as well, there's so many things that we again can do, but
Mhm.
is that the thing for us to do? And when I talk about looking at other ways other than money to quantify your success, it's because if you're making money but not enjoying how you're making it,
Hmm.
it's not going to be sustainable,
Right.
because that burnout will happen because you're just doing it for the dollar. But what if we could legitimately find the things that we love to do and
Hmm.
monetize those things? Because then we won't burn out
Yeah.
from doing the work that goes behind it, the planning that goes behind it, and it'll keep us encouraged because we legitimately love what it is that we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I think, for a lot of people, this is an interesting topic. You say something in the book that you and I also talk about, that I think is great to discuss, and that is being audience centric. And this is what you say in the book, for those who have the print edition on page 42. Understanding who you are serving is fundamental. Building a business solely based on personal ambition often falters because it overlooks the most critical element, the customer. Successful business owners listen to the needs and desires of their audience and prioritize these insights above their personal preferences. That's a big thing, Earl. Talk to us about the importance of realizing that, and being able to share that with others.
Well, honestly, what else is there to do when we're not audience focused and we're just out here doing things for ourselves? No one is asking for what we like. What they're asking for is, what do you do that I like and enjoy? Because that's why I'm going to stick around.
Mm.
That's why I'm going to support you, because you are literally supporting me with your content, with your products and services. And this is what I want to know. And what I've really started realizing is that when you do that, more opportunities open up to you, because people will literally ask, do you do this too? Is that it, or even ask for different spins on what it is that you do,
Mm.
because they trust you in knowing that your products and services are actually what it is that they need. So the only thing to consider is, what is the audience asking you for,
Yeah.
based on what it is that you're providing, because what else matters?
Yeah. Another thing that I've seen you evolve on, and Dr. Ramos says, absolutely, I have to love it. And I think that's really the key. I mean, I think, if you're not doing something that you truly enjoy, I think longevity is not going to be easy for you,
Mhm.
and especially longevity and happiness. I think there are a lot of people who are on jobs, they've been there for years, they don't love the job, but they've kind of gotten complacent with the situation. So I want to talk to you about this, in connection with that, Earl, and that is for our audience out there. I mean, they've seen you be able to do different things. How do you prioritize it? How do you kind of decide what you're going to spend time on, how much time you're going to spend on it, and what things you may have to leave behind?
That right there is such a loaded question, and so many nuances in that,
Hmm.
because fundamentally is the thing that a lot of entrepreneurs don't consider, which what you're talking about is the strategy, which is the planning that goes along with all of these things. Who
Hmm.
was it that you said, or what was it, Oprah or someone said, you can have it all, but you can't have it all today,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So it comes down to looking at what the audience is focusing on with you, but also, if there are other things that the audience does or will focus on, it's what you're talking about in the moment that you can literally see if they're going to gravitate to. My when I think about my Facebook feed and the things that people are gravitating to on that feed,
Hmm.
if you're not doing an evaluation of what's going on your social media feed, something is definitely wrong. Now, I
Yeah.
can say that because for a long time I didn't do that, but I
Mm.
can literally go week by week and say, this is the thing that I know is resonating with my audience.
Right.
And so there's a lot that goes behind that, but prioritizing and strategy and planning is so vitally important. And if we don't do that, it's probably the reason we're not where we want to be, or even on that path.
Yeah. And it's not easy, right? Accepting that we can't do it all. I
No,
think, there are, I've had to say to people, and people don't like it. I can't imagine me saying something people don't like, but
no, I
they,
no, no.
doesn't that sound weird? But,
It does. It
when
really
I
does.
say you can't have it all, there are people who really believe they can, which I think is aspirational. I just don't think it's realistic,
Mhm.
to think that. I mean, there will always be something that will have to give. Dr. Venom says, yes, analytics are eye opening. That's so true. So, as someone who is so highly confident in themselves, Earl, uh, what has that been like for you to have that conversation with yourself that no, you can't do it all at once?
Well, it's just about telling the truth about what's going on. And the proof is in the data that we're talking about, just like Dr.
Hmm.
V with the analytics.
Hmm.
The proof is in the data that you can't do it all. And if you're confused, believe me, your audience is confused. And if you're not confused and your audience is confused, it means that you're not focused in on the audience anyway.
Hmm.
And I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. If someone can't look at your Facebook feed or social media feed and immediately tell what it is that you do, there's something wrong.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, and that again goes to that self-evaluation, but also being able to take action. Earl,
Mhm.
as long as I've known you, you have always been a person not afraid to take action. You are one of those people. But one thing I can say, especially over the past couple years that I've noticed with you, is that you become more intentional. Talk to us about that journey and what you hope people realize about that as we're now going into the second half of 2025 about again being willing to take action, but also making sure that they are planning before they do so.
Well, taking action is a blessing and a curse because we see many people taking action all the time, but we don't even understand what that action is.
Hmm.
So I think one of the key things for me and what's helped me to change is that I had to solidify what it is that I wanted, like the outcome.
Hmm.
So many times I think I've spent time just doing and doing and doing because I can. And I think a lot
Yeah,
of entrepreneurs fall into that trap as well. I'm
yeah.
just going to do this, or they see someone else doing something. Oh, I can do that too. Oh, I can do that too.
Hmm.
And there's no light at the end of the tunnel in regards to this is where I want to wind up. And I've
Yeah.
struggled with that for years. Like, where do I want to wind up?
Hmm.
And I'm finally figuring that out, which people will see in the content that I produce. Oh, yes, I can understand this is why he's producing this type of content now.
Hmm.
And I can see the direction he's going. Some will, some won't,
Yeah.
with that. But there are very specific things that I know I want to lean into
Hmm.
and to be able to help others with. And
Yeah.
and so I have a North Star now, which I really never did other than money, right?
Hmm.
You would ask me, like, what did you want? I want money. That's
Yeah.
what I want. I want money. Okay, so what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
And that's why for so long I've done so many different things
Hmm.
chasing a dollar instead of chasing a calling.
Mm. I love that. Don't chase a dollar, chase a calling. I like that. That's very, very, very astute, Earl. I like that. Very,
You should put that on a t-shirt or something.
yeah. Like the grind and don't quit. Yeah.
Well, it's on the t-shirt and it's
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like that. So, yeah, I was giving you your props, man. That
yeah,
wasn't
thank
a
you.
dig, that
I'm
was
not
giving you
accustomed to you doing that, but okay.
Okay, so before we let you go, we have to talk about what's happening, again, we're about to be halfway through, Dr. Brown says, "Chase a calling." We're halfway through, here in just a couple of days, the month of June. You have a special you've been offering with one of your service, that being the video promos, and you have kind of tweaked the way you've talked about this because people know you for what you've done with authors, but you also have done things with other brands. You've done things for All Sport Headgear. You've done things for the Dream for Him candle line. Talk to us about the benefit of getting video promos, Earl, and talk about the special you're offering.
Well, the benefit of getting a video promo, and I think of it more in terms of a series of promos. I know people usually do the one,
Hmm.
and pretty much that's about it. Um, I won't go into that, but because there's a lot of ways I think people should be utilizing the promos.
Hmm.
But the promos that I create are a unique way for people to showcase what it is that they do. A lot of
Right.
times for an entrepreneur, you're so much in it, it's hard for you to look at it because you're in it. Whereas when I see it, I look at it from a perspective of what's the best thing to say? How do you say it? And what are the visuals that go behind it? I was talking to a client of mine actually just yesterday, talking about even just the process of creating these things. It's not a quick process. For me, it's a very intentional process of
Right.
how these things are done. So even with the special that I have going on right now, our prices are going up at the end of the month, July 1st. They will be higher priced. So I'm offering a special right now where you can get two for one. You
Mm.
can get two 30-second promo videos uh, for the price of one. And with that being said, even if you can't use it now, get it so that you will be able to use it at some point in the future, so that you don't have to pay the higher price. If you wait, you wait. All I can do at this point is present an opportunity to people. If they don't take the opportunity, there's nothing I can do about that.
Right. Right. Exactly. So the information is on Earl's social. So definitely make sure you guys reach out to him about that. Earl, a very wide ranging conversation. It's always great being able to catch up with you and to be able to talk about the things that are happening. As I mentioned, you have books available for authors, for voiceover artists, for those in business. All of those are available here on Amazon. But how can our audience stay connected with you, Earl, and find out more about the services?
Just look me up on any social network at Earl Hall Studio. You'll find all of my links there. And basically, that's it. Just look me up on social and you'll get all my links.
Awesome. Well, Earl, congratulations to you again. Very busy 2025 for you so far. Looking forward to what's to come and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Definitely a pleasure.
Oh, well, I appreciate you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you'll make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.